This isn't going to be the kind of in-depth historical review that is done so well by Keen on Keys. Rather, it's an exploration of this keyboard as a source of sounds for drones and further manipulation by effects pedals and for sequences of varying lengths by, for example, using Audacity as a sample player. Even if I had his knowledge, I am unable to create decent-looking presentations, and I certainly don't have the space. But hopefully the contents will still be interesting even if the delivery is somewhat bland. The MT110 is a typical vintage mid-sized home keyboard made by Casio. According to the molded date and month grid in the base, this particular model was manufactured between May 1986 and July 1987. A large digit 2 also indicates either a major revision or production run. There is an interesting groove at the right end of the case that seems as if there is a possibility of an expansion board or connecting multiple devices together. But in fact the corresponding area inside has nothing that can even reach the edge, so perhaps it was an idea that was never developed. Or the bottom was meant for more than this model, with others having extra functionality. It runs on 9 volts, either 6 AAs or an external power supply with the usual negative center, and has mono line out via a 3.5mm socket, with no option for headphones. With 8-note polyphony, it has 12 sounds and 12 rhythms, and what seems to be the fairly standard auto accompaniment options, though here they are very simple. Compared to earlier models such as the much-liked and extremely versatile MT65 or the sonically limited but interesting MT70, which has similar design principles, and to my mind is the nicest looking of all the classic keyboards, the general construction here is much simpler, presumably to lower costs. For example, the keys are not individual shapes held in place against a ridge around which they rotate, but a pair of 2-octave pieces for each of the white and black keys, making use of the plastic's own springiness like teeth on a comb to provide the motion. With a couple of exceptions, the sounds only have a passing resemblance to their names, and all lose volume consistently towards the higher registers, though they all benefit greatly from being played through the line out, especially for the lower octave, which has a lot of depth. Some of the sounds have a delayed vibrato, which is fixed in all aspects, but it isn't too bad when used sparingly, whilst others seem to have a phasing effect, though limited to mono, so there's no width to the signal. Most likely it's actually caused by the fact that each tone is comprised of 2 square waves that are fed through different envelopes and an analog filter, so the waveforms interact. Others can be used in synth sequences typified by the Berlin school, though there is of course no way to adjust the resonance or low-pass filter settings unless fed into the external inputs of a synthesizer or additional effects units.